G Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.
Oh yes, people. Sunday night. It's Sunday night again. And here we are. And this is going to be a different kind of a Sunday night, as promised. Well, I wasn't expected, but it's as promised. Well, it was kind of expected, but it wasn't expected to be the way it's going, but it's now promised. I know. Last Sunday's show was the first 20 minutes of Unexpected Hell, where this show encountered audio difficulties that I was not aware of. You didn't hear the music in the background. I like the music in the background. Then, if you want to top it all off, I felt it was a very important subject matter. I had last week on the show international radio talk show host V from the Red Pill Hardcore show. He's on the Republic Broadcast Network. It's on Google. Go find it. I was going to talk to him, or I did talk to him, about the voter elections and do you think there's voter fraud? Because I just feel that things need to be heard and you can make your own decisions. Again, I don't want to get on this Trump-Biden thing. I want to be fair, because if it wasn't fair, if the things that we talked about are true, what does that say about our democracy? Us as a nation. Well, lo and behold, the first 20 minutes and the first 12 to 15 minutes when I brought V onto the show, you could not hear him. You could hear me, but you could not hear him. Now, on top of that, you really weren't even hearing the actual microphones, and everything was a disaster. So here's what I'm doing. We managed to salvage the show, and we picked it up from when everything got back onto track. So this show is last week's show, but it's doable. And it's important that you watch it. All I ask is that you open your minds, because let's look. If we do have an election recount or anything of that matter, who cares? So long as they get it out of the way, and that way we can settle this. And then whatever happens, happens. Okay? But quit jumping up and down yet. I get it. Just think back. This whole year, this man's been getting kicked. He's been getting tried for impeachment and this and that. And now all he wants is a recount. A recount and to uncover if anything is dirty. Because if it is, you'll eat crow. If it's not, fair enough. Let's move forward. All right? So here's what's happening. We're going to start last week's show this week from the point of where I realized I had a big mistake and we needed to pick it up and kind of start over again, but a lot of information was lost, but it's still a great show. Watch and share, people. All right? I'll see you next week when we do this again. But watch this show. It's important. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and doing this stuff because I feel it's important for us as a country. Again, I don't care who you wanted. Just open your mind and be reasonable, okay? Because things look kind of weird. So let them have their day. And I'm telling you, if he fails, so be it. Let him have his day. He's no idiot, even though you may call him one, okay? Love all of you guys. Talk to you soon. Watch the show. Peace out.
And it's no different with the voting. Okay? Now, they want to blame Russia, which is the scapegoat of the CIA.
Hang on 1 second.
NSA.
Hang on. I don't want to break your train of thought, but I was getting texts that, remember I said I had audio issues? Apparently I still had audio issues, and unfortunately up until about 4 or 5 minutes ago, they weren't hearing you, and this really sucks for me, and I hate it. So let me just reintroduce. This is V from the Red Pill Hardcore Network. Unfortunately, I screwed this up because, again, COVID, no crew, and nobody to monitor, and he came on the show from halfway around the world to talk about what we're talking about here is there election corruption going on, because he's finds the man behind the curtain and exposes them all. So we're a portion just starting to get into this from what's called Scorecard that I've been hearing about, and an application called Hammer, which is used for foreign surveillance operatives to pay attention to other countries, which I feel or we hear is now being used against us. So take it from there, V.
Okay. As redundancy, I'm recording as well now. Well, okay, so you have the spy agencies, which they call themselves intelligence agencies, but they're really counterintelligence. They are into social engineering. That is their prime directive. They decide who can make it in the world and who cannot. If you become a targeted individual like myself, your communications are watched. Your communications are recorded. They do this thing what's called hyper game theory. I think I've spoken about this on your show before. Yes, hyper game theory. You're in an environment that they control. You know, you're like a rat in a maze. They can choose to open a door for you. They can choose to kill you in a trap. Okay?
Gotcha.
So the same thing with opportunities. I know people have sat down who were looking for a job, sat down and mass emailed different companies just to not hear anything back. People who have signed up for HUD housing, for example, find out that it's going to take 3 years for them to get placement. Okay? But yet they know somebody who just signed up as well and then got their place in 2 months. So the difference between that person and the other individual who got the housing, one might be a family member of the judge, one might be an activist, one might be anti-government, and then the other one might be, anybody, a social worker.
Who takes this much time to look into that? Or
one guy might be black and the other one white. So that's what I'm telling you. It's all about social engineering. So you have to have a red flag somewhere for to hop on there.
Oh, I got a few.
If you're somebody who's spoken out before, there are levels in which they watch you, and there's a certain point where you become targeted, and they'll social engineer your life. So my point of what I'm saying is they will intercept emails, so you don't get a job. I've had to call back and verify communications, and a lot of people don't get my emails.
Okay, but this program, wait a minute, hang on. This program, Hammer, this was talked about by an Air Force retired general. His name is General McInerney, 35-year Air Force general, third highest guy when he was in the service. He's retired now. He's doing something with the cloud networks now, and that's why he's onto this. He's saying that this was one of the most sophisticated programs ever developed so far by a guy named Dennis Montgomery. And then they took this program that was supposed to be for CIA, NSA, foreign surveillance, and now they've turned it into a election, which they did years ago. And since 2012, they said they've been using it on us, us, the people, an unfair election. And somebody was just saying they've been not having fair elections for over 200 years, but this is different. This is cyber warfare. Okay,
it's cyber crime for sure. It has been used for a very long time. It's been used in other countries. Okay, we no longer have to go and send an economic hitmen
Right.
to other countries and overthrow people in place. Put our own people in there, not directly,
Right.
but anyhow, yeah. So there are different versions of this. This is the what these spy agencies do. They feel as though they have to control everything. So voter fraud, yes, voter fraud happened.
Oh,
It did.
okay. But I mean, the thing was, they said in this interview with Steve Bannon and General McInerney, it says that in 2012 they used it for the primaries to get rid of Bernie Sanders, so that way Obama could get in. Then they tried it again in 2016 against Trump, and right when they were doing it, something went wrong or failed with their system, and he would not go into it. He says, I can't talk about that, which I don't see why not, especially since he's been talking about all this. But it failed, and that's how Trump won, because they're saying that they can swing the votes within 3 or 5%, just as they can do it in real time to make it look like he's losing naturally. They can tap right into the system. Nobody knows, and that's how evil and just swaying the vote.
It's too big to track. It's too big. So entering an algorithm to bring in information from some people who are dead,
Yeah,
people who aren't who haven't voted, people who are in jail. They can. You're not going to notice if you got 5 in this county, 50 in another county, and you spread it out anywhere. Of course, they can do that. They have been doing that. It's actually one of the oldest tricks in the book to fill out a ballot for somebody who's dead. So that's been. Now it just gets done electronically.
right.
And that is the biggest problem that we have. These people want remote control over everything. They don't even want to work for it anymore.
But I mean, Trump obviously knew about this. He's been bitching about it for months. Does he stand a chance to break this open to actually regain his strength before January 20th?
I hope he does. I really hope he does.
I mean,
for our country's sake.
right.
Okay, well, let's talk about why they want Biden over.
People think that he's going to
Trump.
be the greatest thing. He's going to be calm. He's going to be nice. He's going to be, you know what I mean? And Kamala and everything. I mean, again, just opinion, but they feel like he's, because Trump is so Trump. People hate Trump just because he's Trump. So tell them why.
Okay, well, Trump is a nationalist, much like myself. I am a patriot. I want to see my country being the best, being good people, being honest people, and having the most success. I'm a nationalist. So is Trump. Problem with that is you have the New World Order. You can't have a nationalist president. Okay? During the forming of this New World Order, this one world government. Okay? Now, these borders exist. They're for us. Okay? Between us and other countries. But as far as the shadow governments, the deep state, no, not so much. The lines start to blur. And so Trump's not going for that kind of stuff, okay?
Right.
But Biden's just going to hand the country, continue to hand the country straight over to the UN. We're going to be a part of a new world order, okay, where we're going to lose more and more of our rights, more and more of our freedoms as Americans. This is where it's all going. It's where it's been going for a long time. I'm not the only person that sees this or talks about this, but Biden's just going to hand over the country, and he will do it willingly. He will smile and he'll sign every piece of paper that's handed to him, so long as they supply him with little children to sit on his lap.
But wait a minute, but how do you convince these people that love Biden that this is, it's not really what you're seeing? I mean, and I'm shocked. I have a lot of people that really love him and think that, Trump is the devil and it's especially here in California. I mean, big music. I'm shocked at all the actors, musicians, and all these people how feel like, it's all good. So please explain, because again, we're just giving information.
Biden is a pedophile.
Regardless, forget that.
No, well, you can't forget that. That's how he's going to be controlled. You have the intelligence agencies, the spy agencies, who are into the child trafficking. They're going to supply him. They're going to control him through that method.
They're saying he's going to be out in a year. They're going to, and then some way or another, he's going to be gone.
Yes, the Kamala supremacy theory.
Yes.
I don't believe that. But the thing is, you've got Hunter with the child porn on his computer. The apple does not fall far from the tree. Biden's mental capacity and the way that he cannot follow his own stories, it's amazing. So they want to put an invalid in office, to make sure that somebody else is going to have the reign of control, and who is that going to be? I know that's where the Kamala supremacy theory comes in, but it's going to be policies after policies, the 2130 agenda that's going to be thrown out there. And Trump was going to stand in the way of that as much as he could. I mean, here we had Trump get the coronavirus, right? And then all of a sudden is cured. Well, he recovers 2-3 days later. He didn't have a vaccine. He was not given a vaccine.
Right.
There's not one ready yet.
Right.
Not. So, for a simple fact, they want him out of the picture largely for that alone. You cannot force the people to get vaccinated if there are other means of being cured,
sure,
getting well.
As was,
but with the colloquial, I hate the word. So there are several methods. There are several things out there that have proven to work on this coronavirus. Vitamin C and other trials have gone on, and people have recovered.
Right.
This is being swept underneath the rug. The vaccine is number one right now.
Money.
They want to push that.
Right.
It's not just money; it's population control.
What's the vaccine going to do?
Well, that is what I'm trying to expose right now to the best of my ability. It's a three-way ordeal, and it's very easy to piece together once you think about it. What are things that are being forced on us that we cannot control? Chemtrails, being sprayed with chemtrails, right? All right. So we are being inundated with nano aluminum and other nano materials in our bodies.
All over the world?
Okay. All over the world. Do you breathe air?
Yeah.
You've got it in you. Okay? You're a living creature. You got it in you. So they're going to push that further along with the vaccines. Okay? You have animal DNA in these vaccines. Animal biological material. In my research, I found that underneath energy, under frequency 5G and above, you can manipulate the genetic makeup of proteins to be carried via nanomaterials. What are they pushing out on us right now? 5G.
Well, I just figured it's just technology. It's always been stepped up. It went from 2G to 3G to Peter G to.
You have to understand, this is a global CRISPR program. CRISPR is a gene editing movement in the scientific community. Being able to choose whether your child has blue eyes or brown eyes, or if they're going to be tall or short, customizing your children.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the CRISPR program. Now, what people understand is we've all been entered into a mass worldwide CRISPR program, because those three elements, and I'm not just talking out of my butt here. My documentary Transmatrix actually have the college lectures on this. In my documentary, I took some chunks out. It literally gave away the secret, okay? Being able to remotely edit someone. Now, that's mind control, that's body control, that's all control. They're going to try to dumb us down, make us sick, and shorten our lifespans.
Shorten our lifespans.
Well, it's a lot easier to change history when you have a generation that is born and dies off quickly.
Doesn't remember the past.
They can say whatever they want about the past.
Right.
They're already in these libraries, book burning, trying to get rid of books. They're trying to get rid of libraries right now. And in place of digital databases. No.
Right.
We cannot go for that, people. We cannot go for that.
Let's back it up a little, because so
Okay.
Trump
Yeah.
gets coronavirus. Let's go back, because again, it's all about right now this election. Because I can talk endless hours. We can do. I never thought about it, but I could do a daily show with you alone, and just because we can't scratch the surface. It's so deep. But the elections right now. Trump is raising hell. He claimed victory, or says we're winning. All of a sudden his votes just start dropping like flies, and now they're making it look neck and neck, and it's considered to be voter fraud due to this hammer program that's infused by the secrets of the CIA, and they've turned our own stuff that we used for other countries to spy on, and they're turning it. Why are they? And they siding with the whole Democratic Party. Why?
Once again, our country's been given away to the UN, a New World Order. We're going to lose our sovereignty. We cannot have a nationalist president.
Why don't people care about this country?
Well, we are the corporation of America. We are a commodity to be traded and sold anyways. But people just don't understand that. And not having the white Christian majority, which voted for Trump, not having them in power makes the transition easier for us to lose our rights. You talk to some Texans, I know, well, obviously, lots of Texans, they're just not going to give up the guns. It won't be a state seceding from the Union if they try to do that.
Right.
Okay? And it'll be a civil war. But if you can keep those people and someone that's representing them out of power, well, like I said, it makes it easier for us to transition to this new world order. Now, under Biden, I can see it already. We're going to have more false flag shooters so they can come after our guns. And he'll be right there. Yeah, gun control, gun control. You'll never hear Trump say he's going to take all of Americans' guns. Okay?
Well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that Trump, from the beginning, wants to wash away all these old bags out of Congress and all these people. And that's been his biggest problem, is because these people are going to fight him tooth and nail because he's screwing up their game that they've been in for decades. So I understand why they hate him, but I got to give the man credit. Again, I don't give a shit, harsh or no harsh. There's things that we don't know as normal people. That's why you're on the show. And we just see what we're fed and hear, and act on that. So he comes off a little rude. This man's been getting kicked for 3.5 years and still has been plowing down and making progress, but yet you got people that think that he's just a horrible human being. And even somebody I know said to me, he says, well, Trump's just a liar and a cheater. I said, tell me what he's lied about. And he's, I can't remember right now.
His greatest sin thus far is not showing his tax returns. Now, I'm going to say it like this. If he's not paying his taxes, I mean, Trump might as well be a saint.
Yeah.
Paying your taxes, if you are someone who pays your taxes, well, guess what? You are funding the deep state and the shadow government. You are essentially funding domestic terrorism. You're funding programs that can fraud you out of your political candidate. You're funding people who are spying on everything that you do to socially engineer you out of any kind of success. So, I mean, I would cringe if I knew Trump had to pay billions of dollars in back taxes. I would cringe. That money's not going to go into filling potholes in the streets of America. It's not. So
they hired Trump to be a wrecking ball, and he has been.
Yeah, we need that real change. The change that Obama promised us. That didn't happen.
Well, a lot of people think it did. And again, this is the problem. It's like you got people that say, he was the greatest thing. And I don't care if he's black, white, green, or orange. I really didn't care. I thought it was going to be kind of cool. I bought in for a while. But then I just started seeing that things aren't really. I kept hearing Pepsi was like about the New World Order and world and all this. And I said, Pepsi, you're out of your mind. And as crazy as he is, that was one thing that he's probably was on target with.
Pepsi is a very smart man. You should listen to him.
You heard it here first, folks. He's going to be on the show. We're getting ready for our 100th show for live Facebook, and that's going to be in early January, and I hope to have him back in person. But, Pepsi sometimes amazes me. But, there's other aspects of Pepsi. It's like, what friggin' planet are you on? But this time, again, he was talking about this stuff. And even when Corona hit, he's like, Peter. Because I was buckling down. I didn't know what to believe, and until I got a better grip on it, I was not going to risk it. And then little by little, I started gaining this information, and here we are. But Pepsi's always been one of those conspiracy, guys. And I go, Pepsi, you smoke too much weed, dude. Chill out, It's like, but he's got some points.
Yeah, and see, Trump actually doing these rallies, he was doing them not being so concerned about the coronavirus. It showed clear disdain for the system. Okay, again, they want us all divided and conquered. If we're each stuck at home, not being able to say anything on the internet, because as soon as you say anything on any social network these days, you're shadow banned. If not, your account deleted. So put it in a cell and gagged. Each and every one of us. That's what they want.
I get it. But they were claiming, though, but they're blaming Trump. Again, they figure how to twist it and saying, all his rallies, they're going to be super spreaders. And,
And they weren't.
And they, again, this in Sturgis, I don't know if you're familiar, there's a motorcycle rally that goes on every year in Sturgis. And 100 to 200,000 people showed up there. And they had that rally, and they were showing all these pictures, like, all these bikers are here, and, and nobody's wearing masks. Weeks and weeks later, the people went away. They left. It was only about a 4 or 5 day event. It's been every year, and you didn't hear anything about it. All of a sudden, I see somebody who I'm friends with, and he says, and they showed this article, and some company from Germany that was monitoring all the people that showed up in Sturgis, saying that they became super spreaders and that 200,000 more cases of coronavirus is because of them. I'm going, how the hell can they prove that? Through cell phones or all this bullshit? But yet I've heard nothing else since then. And B's going, what do you know? And, I'm going, I don't hear anything.
Well, they tried saying Black Lives Matters movement actually spread. I think I hopped on here. Okay, it was Yahoo. The number that they gave out was ridiculous. I can't remember. It wasn't even worth remembering. It's like that many people didn't even show up to the rallies. So they really hopped onto the fake news scenario so quickly, so fast. All these padded numbers from the the WHO. These numbers aren't real. These numbers are not real. I joke a lot, actually, with people saying, "Hey, now is a good time to kill somebody. If you ever wanted to get that off your bucket list, they're going to put death by coronavirus on the death certificate."
Right. Well, again, they were blaming Trump for saying that too. They're saying, the doctors, hospitals get paid more money. I mean, I totally believe that. I'm sorry, I do.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
But then you get people that come out and go, listen, my relative, I had somebody, he died of, he just recently died of coronavirus. I don't doubt that somebody is getting actually sick from it. But
around the year, there's an annual number. I gotta look at the stats. So around the year, there's a certain amount of people who die from falling off a ladder. Okay?
Yeah, but that's very.
There's a certain amount.
I know.
The numbers aren't okay for the flu, the regular flu. The real numbers of coronavirus deaths aren't even close to the number of people who die of the flu.
Well, Joe Biden's going to fix everything soon here, so don't worry about it.
The real numbers. Now, everything is obfuscated because they're putting all these deaths and attributing it to coronavirus. I mean everything from having other infections to being in a car wreck. They're putting coronavirus.
Why would the doctors and nurses and all that do things like that? I mean, especially if they're, Trump. Why aren't people coming out and going, this is bullshit? People that believe in that it's bullshit.
Well, we hardly have doctors anymore. What we have are overglorified pharmacists. And these people have contracts with the pharmaceutical companies, okay? These doctors. Some of them have some very large incentives, okay, to push vaccines, to push whatever is coming.
Right.
Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, these are drug dealers. These aren't doctors.
But there are some people that have morals.
There are some.
Okay. Why aren't they saying this enough? They're afraid of their reputations, their jobs?
Well, there have been plenty of people, but as soon as they say something, guess what? They either become bodied or kicked off of social networks. Heavily censored. They got the final censorship being found in the trunk of their own car.
Really?
Yeah, there's lots of those. You just gotta look it up. Journalists,
most people don't.
coming up dead.
Most people don't. And that's the thing. We're all just living in the here and now. Most people are worried about a stimulus check. Most people are worried about, what can you do for me, and don't care about anything else. I mean, they're not seeing past, their hand. I mean, how do you? I guess this is my point for this show is there's people that are going to say this is bullshit, Peter. Biden, Kamala Harris is going to save us. I mean, she's kind and this and that. How do you say that? Get people that are in love with it, or Trump? It's like he's the devil. How do you get people to not believe that he's the devil, and how do you get people to believe that these people aren't really who they say they are?
Well, I do know Pence is Beelzebub. That's what I call him.
He's what?
Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies.
yeah, that was kind of harsh. That's going to stick more than I think. He's pretty solid. Am I wrong? I mean, he doesn't say a whole lot, but he says it more professionally, so to speak.
Guy, I don't know. He looks like a CIA creation.
I get
like
it.
A robot.
He's tight. Yeah, he's tight. He's uptight. The hairs, maybe he is a robot. Who knows? But the thing is, he definitely backs him up. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, he, as far as the country's concerned, I don't know. Uneventful, not memorable.
Okay, but
I hate to say it.
I know, but let's go back into this election, because this is really like, again, everybody's claiming victory. They're already taking it. Trump has not surfaced. He's been, he took a breather, and I don't blame the guy, but but they're like everything around us here is you're fired, get to packing, get the hell out of the White House. You might as well leave now. But he's not going to go down without a fight. I'm pretty sure. Will he stand a chance?
If I were him, I would declare a national emergency and definitely charge his agencies with fraud. I'd have the Army go and clear these facilities out.
Can you do that?
Have ask trials. Oh, yeah. As the president,
a national emergency based on what? Doesn't he have people? He has that much power. They can't shut him down.
I mean, Congress would have to deliberate after he does it and maybe repeal it, but that's what I would do at this point.
Because I don't see him lying down. I just don't. I mean, he knows what's going on. He knows who's doing this to him and why they're doing this to him. He's never stopped before. What's going to make him stop now? And like they're always saying, well, if he loses now, he'll be back in 2024 or this and that. It's like, why would you do that? And some of his own Congress and all that, the Republicans, they're like not. Some people aren't speaking to back him up because they're looking out for their own asses.
Well, something is obviously fishy about this because
not to some people.
Well,
some people think it's cut and dry. He lost. That's it.
That would make it, if he honestly lost, that would make him the first president to not be reelected to a second term during time of war.
Time of war.
Time of war. Our country's still technically at war. We're still over in the Middle East. So.
But still, let's say that would make him the first president not be reelected during a time of war because they're claiming he's done a shitty job. At least the opposers have saying that. But again, it's like here we are. So he doesn't get reelected or didn't get reelected. Will he? We have a couple of months to figure it out. I mean, can this program, this hammer, this it's treason.
It is treason.
It's treason. Can this be exposed big enough to blow this whole thing to finally just demolish whatever it's going to demolish to bring back some form of loyalty to this country?
If he is willing to risk his life.
I think he's been risking it since he was elected. They killed Kennedy for just making a few. He didn't last nothing. I mean, he was a Democrat.
Trump knows how to play the game.
Yeah, people think he's an idiot.
No, Trump is not an idiot.
That's what I was thinking.
Trump knows how to play the game, and and people are always asking me, well, why didn't Trump say this? Why didn't Trump say that? Well, because he doesn't want to die. He's given us lots of clues. He's given us lots of, quick truth shots. For example, he was asked about chemtrails, and his response was, "Oh, well, chemtrails is being done to make a certain group of people a lot of money." And then boom, he just left that topic alone. So I mean, it's stuff like that. And I know the environmentalists hate Trump. The Clean Water Act, he shredded that. My co-host can talk about that for a very long time on my show. The pipelines, I'm not happy, but the thing about it, he's still playing the game smartly because this stuff's going through anyways. He has to make the deal, and he's getting a piece of it. If I know something is coming up that's not wanted, but it's going to go through anyways, if I have prior knowledge of it, I'm at least going to buy some shares, some stocks. Might as well do the deal. So later, some time in the future, maybe you can have more control of the situation. Say, no, let's get rid of that. You never know. But having Americans first, even with evil agendas that the shadow government or deep state might have, at least we will be in control of it. And so, again, people, these QAnons, why would he just totally throw everything out, become a truth or understand, and then get killed like Kennedy? He's not going to do it. It's not the way you do it. You got to slowly make the change. It's got to be done slowly. You got to get rid of certain people. You got, you got rid of Brennan, the CIA director, as soon as he got elected. You gotta see where your networks are, who your enemies are, who are their people. It's too huge. It's too huge. Especially with the government as corrupt as this one. The network's too huge. So, I mean, what can you do?
Hang on one second. For those of you just tuning in, I have on the screen, the big screen, V from the Red Pill Hardcore Show, halfway across the world, up early in the morning, and we've been talking about the election and what I have heard about this program called Hammer and Scorecard, which was a program that was developed for CIA and NSA foreign spyware operative softwares that was then just adjusted or kept on. It has, I guess, there's many different variances that you can turn it into, and they were using it to fix elections over in other countries and things, and now they've used it on us, allegedly used it on us, and therefore that's how we got the change, the sudden change from Trump being, ahead on many, many places, and all of a sudden he just started failing. Let me ask you this. We're in the middle of a voting count, and then some of these states, it's 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, they just say, okay, that's enough counting for today, we're going home for the night. Who does that? Who stops counting and says, we'll pick it up back in the morning? We're going, it's like, 5 o'clock, time to go home, let's go, we'll pick it up in the morning. When has that ever happened?
I have to let you know, yes, it's all about the surveillance. It's all about the data collection. So if you can put a pause anywhere and get those numbers really quick, you can make adjustments elsewhere to make sure you get the outcome that you need.
Do you think there's people in these voting polls that are actually crook? I mean, they put in all these people in all these locations to fix these, to help assist in fixing these votes?
Well,
it's a lot of people.
Again, you got the coronavirus, the pandemic, okay, all the social distancing. You got a lot less witnesses to things going on.
Sure. And
It will be easy to do anything.
They're saying they wouldn't let them observe either. I don't know how you can observe when you little tabs and things like that. The Sharpie thing, I'm not too sure on. I mean, I don't know what that's all about. You can't physically fill in, votes, tens of thousands of votes. Who's got time for that?
Well, there needs to be a redundancy. There needs to be a triple redundancy. What the votes that the government counts. Okay, you got a cell phone. You reflect your serial number from your voting card, and you put that in an app. Let some other corporation company count it at the same time. You can also do it via email. If all the numbers match across the board, well, chances are you got a good election. You got a decent system. But if the numbers vary so wildly, well, we'll know something is up. But for something as important as this, you got to have redundancy. You got to have a way to check the numbers. Not just for them to check the numbers. Who cares if the government checks the numbers? They're going to do everything in their own self-interest. The people need to be able to audit and check.
It was said.
And we don't have a way to do that.
It was said by General McInerney. He quoted Joseph Stalin, which Joseph Stalin says, "I don't care about the vote. He cares more about who's counting the votes."
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would never. You just wouldn't think in our own country here, the United States of America, land of the free. All of a sudden, we have our own country turning against us. It just doesn't seem possible. I think that's the number one reason why most of these people don't see it. It's like, how can that be, and why?
Some people were so Pollyanna. You can tell them the blatant truth about things, but they'll never believe it because it does not go with their the structure of their belief system. I don't know why.
It's a hard pill to swallow right now for a lot of people.
Hey, not everybody can take the red pill at the same time. You got to convince some people to take that medicine so they can get better.
Well, again,
it takes a while.
Do you think? Okay, so I mean, here we are again. Once again, cyber warfare, from what I believe is happening. I mean, it's pretty fishy, and people. But then again, you got a lot of people. I spoke to a younger guy, and he was like, "Listen, they counted the votes. Just count the votes. It's there." So they're believing all that. I don't believe it. I believe that there's something messed up because, again, visually, Trump versus Biden, it didn't seem possible. They were saying landslide, and I go, well, God, I hope to God there is a landslide, so there won't be any ruckus over this because they say, look, it was a landslide, and all of a sudden he went from landslide to he's going to just lose. Just all of a sudden the game started changing late at night, early in the morning. It's taking days now. I mean, they still don't have it together. It just doesn't feel right. And they're blaming it on they've never had this many mail-in votes, and because everybody's mailing in because they don't want to go there and all that shit.
Well, again, we need that redundancy. I don't know what else to say about it. You can't trust these people. You cannot trust people who have a conflict of interest. And right now, their interest is in selling us up the river, okay, to take away our sovereignty.
This Dennis Montgomery guy, the genius programmer who developed this software, the Hammer, and then was able to manufacture it in many different ways for many different uses. This General McInerney claims he's a true patriot. He loves this country. There's over 35 hard drives that he managed to keep. They raided his house and this and that, but these hard drives are out there. I mean, how much in danger is this guy?
Well, when your house is being raided, that's a clear sign you need to get out of the country. With Biden being elected here, I would have said, hey, if he's elected, I'm moving out of the country if I weren't already out of the country.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they claim this guy's a genius.
This guy, programmers are very smart, of course. That's why you always have the NSA trying to find, and this is something that you got to look at. For example, on Facebook, now that I'm thinking about this, you have the CIA. They have their own official web page or page on Facebook. You have the FBI and the NSA. Look at the difference between the pages. You have nothing but propaganda being spewed on the CIA's page. You've got nothing but self exalting crap coming from the FBI. Yes, we caught this person, that person, cyber terrorism, and cyber terrorists. Okay, well then what's the NSA doing? Hey, come in to the seminar. We're looking for coders. Come get hired. Come get hired. It's nothing but recruitment after recruitment after recruitment post, nonstop.
Right.
So they cannot attest that they have stopped any crime ever. They can attest they've never caught a cyber terrorist. They've not stated in any way, shape, or form they have protected our country. What they're doing, and I feel bad for some people. I know some people have gone through some of the stuff, but they go to these colleges and try to get everybody who took the programming classes, whatever, they test them out. They'll get a few people some jobs, but the rest become heavily watched. Some even targeted.
To do what?
To make sure that they don't pose a threat to the NSA.
Right.
They want to be top dogs.
Right. Who's Trump going to trust if you can't trust the FBI? I mean, he's got to do something now. How many people could he possibly? If you got this many people against the country, who do you trust? Who's he going to trust to turn this around, or can he?
If he does turn around, if he does challenge this treason, he'll have the trust of the people. That's what's most important. He needs to encourage civilian militia. Okay, he needs to depower the federal.
But people think that's real redneck. This is what he's been fighting because he's not a white. That's like white supremacy. They're going to turn that on to.
And that's, unfortunately, that is the stereotype. That's the psychological warfare. That's the label.
Right.
That they want to paint. I'm the intelligence director and leader of the Red Pill Minnesota militia. Okay, I'm a black man. You don't have to be a white redneck to be in a militia. As a matter of fact, when I do go back to the U.S., I will be hitting all urban areas on my tour and try to talk to people who are in gangs, people who are organized, whatevers, and tell them there's a legal way to do everything. And, forget those colors. Here's the American flag. Here's your rifle, rucksack. Go to this compound, practice, read the Constitution, and protect it.
Most people don't read. They just jump to conclusions from what they're hearing.
Yeah, well,
Right
I
now,
don't know.
we have 2 more months of either it's going to be make or break. I mean, how are you going to turn it around after that? Wait another 4 more years? How much more deeper in shit are we going to be in because people are believing that we're going to be a nice country from now on?
We're gonna get sold. We're gonna get sold. We're gonna all be vaccinated. We're gonna we're gonna be sold down the CRISPR the CRISPR program, and we're by the time we realize what's going on as a whole, it's going to be too late. Okay, these people are going to be able to, with the push of a button, they get cancer. Well, they technically already have this, but they're going to be able to track your genetics. Oh, your family has a history of whistleblowers or activists or truth sayers. They will slowly make sure that your family has enough accidents, illnesses, okay, sterilizations, to where your code, your genetic code, your influence on the world is eliminated. There won't be patriots anymore. There won't be people who are going to be standing up. They're going to literally find that gene in all of us and shut it off.
Sounds not. It sounds
It
fantasy.
sounds like sci-fi.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. But the Human Genome Project happened for a reason, a long time ago. Okay.
This is again. We keep straying off because there's so many different variables about what's going on here, and it's just kind of nutty. But people just think this is fantastic stuff, like fantastic in the point, like non-believable, fictional. That's not possible. Meanwhile, we got people, tearing down statues here and just burning our cities and blaming it on, it's Trump's fault. Everything is Trump's fault, and yet Trump is. As you said, he's a lot smarter than you think. As my guest last week also said, he says Trump is playing chess while the Democrats are playing checkers. But he might be, but how strong can you be when you got that many people going up against you? I mean, he's pretty damn tough. He's put up with it, but now look at us.
Well, intelligence is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
People have said similar things about myself. I'm just one person. I used to be one man with no resources, but here I am going against the most evil, secretive organizations, technically advanced organizations in the world. Why? Because I figured out everything they're doing.
Most people don't, though. That's the problem. I mean, I know you're preaching and you're, and again, before we end, I want you to tell everybody how they can get to you, but to listen to you. But I mean, we're in a mess right now. This is why I guess my point, what I was trying to do was, I'm not trying to say, pro-Trump. I'm trying to get people to understand if you did vote for Biden and Harris, what you believe, why do they think he's going to do so much good? How can they, just fall for it or not, or believe in it when most of us think that's not true? And how do you say it to them without them going, oh, F you, you got the devil? How do you logically try to help say listen and look and then see, and then make your choice? Because also I don't know how they fall into it, but they have.
Well, we have to catch them messing up. That's the only thing.
I know they put out all that evidence. They put out the laptop. Now they're talking about this whole program, and that. But how many people are going to believe this? Even though they know that it doesn't seem right, but or they do, or they feel, well, he won fair and square.
When and if we see a Me Too movement out of the children that he likes to grope on, that might wake up some people. I don't know.
That was brought up. Why is no? You tell me nobody's got pictures to just put them out there.
Well, there are tons of pictures, and
Where are they?
there's the little girls, 12-year-old girls, like get off of me, like
No, I get
being
that, but
roped.
I was told last week. My guest last week told me in China they were feeding him. They got that maybe they're holding him over his head, but whatever. There's all these pictures. It's like, does anybody have a picture? I mean, so many things leak out just like this. It's like, can't you just blatantly just like put it to where it's a no-brainer? It's like, wow, that's screwed up.
For me, when you make it a point, oh man, okay, you're at these rallies, and you cannot refrain from mentioning at some point how much you love children.
Does he say that?
I like them sitting on my lap.
I
You cannot, as as a politician, you're supposed to be able to refrain. You're supposed to be able to control yourself and act. And he can't wait to say how much he loves children sitting on his lap.
Well, I love children too, but I mean, in fact, the whole reason my show really, once we get off this politics,
There's loving children, and then there's loving children. Okay, when just notice how deep his voice goes when he goes into the and I love children.
I really haven't paid,
inflections
but
in the
that's the
voice.
thing though. I've never paid that much attention to that. I
People
just
aren't. They're not.
okay.
Even if they do hear it, they want to just think, okay, maybe he's just jolly old grandpa. Maybe he's like Santa.
Exactly.
And they want to believe the best.
True blue.
Even though when they're seeing blatant evil.
What do you think Harris knows about all this stuff?
Oh, Kamala, she's a
bitch. Oops.
Well,
I just don't dig her. I'm sorry.
She's a puppet like any
I get
other.
it. I get it.
I don't know what kind of difference she's going to make other than
because she's considered black. They put her in there for tone, for enhancement.
Right. She's going to be
and a woman
equal rights sort of a scapegoat sort of scenario that's going to further confuse the rest of the world. Everything's going to get so politically correct, even more so. Everything's going to be, for our equal rights. And hey, UN, our equal rights. Hey, New World Order, our equal rights. Anybody should be able to do this. Hey, you want to turn your child into a transsexual? Go right ahead. So they're gonna do everything they can to destabilize us as a society. They start with the family, trying to pry families apart, family courts. Now they're going after they're going after sexual identity. And the more you can break a person down and fragment them, the more you're going to be able to control them. You just add in little switches.
Well, I think we're in a hell of a mess. I mean, I know we'll survive this somehow, and maybe I don't know, I'm older than you, but in my lifetime. But I do have a child that I care everything about. In fact, the whole reason why I'm here is because of this child. And I started this thing. Most of my stuff was all about surviving divorce and single parenting, the courts, so this and that. Because it can kill you or make you drink under the table when you have children that depend on you, which I want to get back to, but this political stuff has been so overwhelming, I felt it was my duty to bring it to the forefront. So I kind of stepped away for a little while. Now, over the holidays, I got to talk about some of this stuff, but it's just, how can you can't just turn your head from this and stick your head in the sand. This is so important. So what are we going to, I mean, where are we going? I mean, I guess I'm going because you push the buttons, you watch the people behind the scenes and go way deeper than I do. I'm just catching on. I'm a newbie. As far as but I see certain things and I'll talk about it. How the hell are we going to? I mean, does Trump stand a chance from the most our own country turning on our own country and rigging this election to where they're going to say, hey, that's the way it is. See you later. And what will he do after that? Or do you honestly think he can survive this?
Absolutely.
I mean, survive is to be president after January 20th.
If once again, yeah, if he challenges the narrative and challenges the system directly, he is in the position of power to do that. Okay, he again, if I were him, these agencies would be raided. People would be detained. Okay, these agents would be detained.
Do you trust the people you're telling to go raid them?
You give, as a president, you give the army an order. That's what they got to do.
I know, but do you trust? Do you trust those people that are behind the people giving the order?
The army, they're gonna take the directive from the president over CIA. Again, it's command structure.
Yes,
they have to. If he says, "Hey, 51st, go and occupy," that's what they have to do. That's a presidential. That's from the commander in chief.
Right.
Why they call it commander in chief for a reason.
Right.
Not just the president. He's also commander in chief of the military. Right. So that's what I would do. I would go raid the place, find the evidence, and start letting heads roll. That change by itself would put so much more of the Americans' faith back into our country. He needs to do it. It's not just for his presidency, but for the well-being of our nation.
I know, but they're calling him a crybaby and a sore loser and all this now. I mean, he'd have to really do what he's doing and really come up with some, beyond convincing evidence of what's going on without other people twisting it and turning it into, again, it's a twisting game.
Psychological warfare.
Yes,
psychological warfare.
Serious.
They'll call you whatever names, blah, 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 blah. That, again, that's a mental prison. You shouldn't care about what somebody thinks. It's about the facts. And if he got screwed out of this election, that needs to come to the surface.
People think he's just full of shit, and he's the one, turning the tables, and it's not the, nice, warm other side, and that's what I'm having problems with because I'm not buying it. It's too. It just, as somebody says, it smells fishy.
Yeah.
Well,
it smells rotten.
Here's the problem I have, and again, I apologize. This show, they'll have to piece it, chop it. I don't know. We can't monitor. I can't personally monitor what's after it goes into the cameras out again and listen after the fact. I listened before it goes out there. I thought everything was working, and I lost about 10 minutes of you in the very beginning. We'll make it work, but again, if there's anything I want to talk about what you do, you have your 4 days a week or 5 days a week, the Red Pill Hardcore Show on the Republic Broadcast Network?
Correct.
Tell me,
I have
you have many things, so go for
it. Well, yes. So there's the Red Pill Hardcore radio show.
And that's on the internet?
It can be found at
Sorry.
republicbroadcasting.org.
Okay.
And I also have an after show called Double Dosage.
Double Dosage.
Where I do an extra hour. Right. Mm-hmm. Where I take calls and expand on the issues. So yes.
You've done documentaries too, right?
Yes. Targeted individual documentaries. That's the scope of it, but it's remember the 5th of November, the movie, documentary series. So each documentary has a subtitle. So the first one is Know Your Enemy, Know Their Weapons, Know Their Victims, Know Their Killers, Transmatrix, and the last one I did, Transhuman Mind.
Where do you find these?
You can, we usually advertise the Facebook links, but we don't want Facebook getting any more traffic. I mean, that's where you can see all the views I've had. It's 100,000 views so far, but I think it'll be easier for you guys to go to the YouTube, start advertising that.
Where do you find it on YouTube?
Truthtainment TV Network.
Truthtainment TV Network on YouTube.
All one word on YouTube.
And that's you uncovering all this stuff that's way beyond most people's perspective.
Right. And also, January coming up, new TV network, TLB TV, the old TV network, is being revamped. TLB TV, the Liberty Beacon Television Network, that's no longer a thing because that was killed, but it's going to be revamped into a new TV network. Mm-hmm. I'm not allowed to say the name of it yet. But
all right, well, we'll figure that out, and we'll.
I want everybody to be ready for it because it's coming. It's coming.
Okay, and that's going to be TV.
Well, stations.
Internet TV.
We're going to start. We're going to start. We're going to start with public access, of course, but online TV.
Okay, I mean it's going to be visual. It's not going to be a radio show.
It's visual all the way.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm coming back with the Red Pill Hardcore TV show.
Okay.
I'm coming back with Family Case Files TV show. I'm coming back with the Targeted TV show.
Okay. All after the first of the year.
Yeah. Beginning of the year. Right. So, getting other hosts to join the network, and I hope that you would be one that also joins as well.
Again, we need to talk about all this off the. We don't get to talk to each other. I mean, we do the shows, and then it's like because every time I want to call you, I'm always way past an hour to try to get a hold of you. It's like the timing is so screwed up, and I go, it's way too late. Oh, it's like he's probably doing his show because it's that time when your show gets done. So it's kind of hard, but we need to get together.
Hey, you call at any time. You and Pepsi call me at any time. I don't have a set work.
I know, but I just don't want to be waking anybody up because sleep. I mean, to me, sleep is a commodity. It's tough. But here's the thing: you said to me the other day when we were talking, I said something about Facebook. You said Facebook's not going to be around.
Facebook is on its way out.
How can it's so huge?
I'm not allowed to say.
Okay, let me ask you this, because here's where it struck a nerve. Over the past 2 days, I got all these people talking about jumping off of Facebook and going to something called Parler. You heard of it?
No, but it's not going to be.
Okay.
It's not going to replace Facebook.
Do you think that Facebook's just going to get all of a sudden one day it just gets cut off, or it's just going to die like MySpace and this and that?
Oh, it's going to die like MySpace. I already know exactly how it's going to happen: the when, the where, the who, the whys.
How the hell do you even know that?
Because I'm a part of it.
Okay. That's pretty strong. I mean, because we're talking Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I mean, because I got to know, because again, silly me, basing everything I did because I like hearing from people on Facebook. I started this whole show and decided to talk to it. Now, multi-streaming and YouTubes and this and that, that's another story. But Facebook is my primary activity spot, which, now where am I going to go? I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, because what's the next Facebook?
I'll have a little spot for you. You'll
okay.
be all right.
All right, but I mean, because look, I don't,
I can't disclose any information. Otherwise, I'll be kicked out of the project.
Okay, but I mean, but here's the thing: because Facebook is there. That's what I mean. Facebook is nothing to be. They're an entity to. I mean, they control everything he does. I mean, he controls everything. He's so strong. How the hell is he going to just fade away? I hear a lot of people jumping because they're pissed off because of the right now with the critiquing and canceling people's
right.
But
right.
but you know what I mean. People forget very quickly, and they won't leave because they're missing all their friends.
Well, Facebook thinks they're going to condition people.
They've been
to say only what they approve
of them. Yeah, sure.
They think they're going to condition people, and they have no fear of it. But the fact of the matter is, people are always going to be opinionated. People are always going to stumble into the truth. People are always going to be talking. We're a giant social organism, humanity. Okay, they're not going to be able to stop it. They're not going to be able to, all this fact checker crap.
Yeah.
You cannot write your own truths. And for them to jump on somebody for them speaking their own truth with fact checkers, which not coming with any real facts. I mean, when you have fact checker hopping on you for comments about global warming, you can't do that. You cannot do that. The scientists that study this are all divided. You can't have a fact-checking scenario on this, but of course they do. Because they want to control the narrative.
Again, with this new thing I've been hearing, this Parler, whatever it is, it's an app you have to download, just like Facebook or something like that. But people saying that's a place you can go, and they're not going to shut you up. You can say what you want to say on it. I mean, because they're new, so they can right now they're going to tell you whatever you want. But I don't know. I just over the past couple days
could fade. Listen, I got on Minds and I got on MeWe, shut down multiple times. I don't know how many accounts I've made with those networks, and they were supposed to have been better than Facebook.
Right?
They were supposed to be free speech. Nope. Nazi regimes there.
I know that nothing lasts forever, and before there's going to be something new eventually. I hope to be. To me, I said I'm always catching the train a little bit too late. I want to get on. I want to be somebody that's in early, but that's a crapshoot. I mean, it really is. I mean.
Well, also, there's also going to be my little side project. I'm going to have a server for the Red Pill Hardcore radio show, TV show, so fans can get on.
I get it.
But we want to keep it simple. We want to have a forum. We want to have, there's an account, but there's no profiles. You hop in, say what you want, chat rooms, keep it simple. We're going to try to keep it simple,
right,
okay?
Right.
And it can grow as big as it can grow. What I want to do is I want to have members pay, $1 or $2, just so that we know that you're a real person. We don't want same troll creating so many accounts and work for the government trying to swing.
Is that the purpose of charging?
That's the purpose of charging, and pay for bandwidth. No profit.
Sure.
On our side. So, but it can grow as big as the people want it, because what we want to try to do is give people a fraction of it to go along with their membership. So they can say, I'm part owner of this network. I have a say. Try to give it that because you can't have a social network and have a dictator of it.
Apparently
that's
you can.
Totally opposite. That's totally opposite.
How many years? How many years?
It's
Facebook
not social if you can't talk.
But how many years has Facebook been up for the majority? I mean, what a run! What a run!
But it's not a true social network.
I get
if you
it,
can't
but
talk.
here I am. We're serving live to it right now, and I bought in because I thought it would be a great play. And I think I've been kind of fortunate. I think I've gotten kind of shut down in a couple of times, but considering what I'm doing, especially even right now, I don't know if they're not catching it because it's live. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But the thing is, I've still been able to maintain, and maybe I'm not getting out there as much, and they're holding me back, and I don't realize it. But I don't know. I think I'm still getting out there some way, shape, or form. Again, I don't find myself being the guy who's going in deep. I'm not you. I try to keep it light, and most of my shows, have a balance because I want bigger entertainment. But for what I'm doing, it's been going. They haven't cut me out yet.
Well, I'm biding my time and learning as much as I can in order to do these things. Lots of cyber terrorism, cyber harassment.
Yeah.
And I never in my life wanted to know so much about computers. What I know about computers today, it's scary. So I'm having to sit here being my own IT guy just from all the attacks, just from all the shenanigans, all the ridiculous things that you wouldn't think would happen to computers. So the great thing about the NSA and these other agencies is that they're so obsessed with control that they control without thinking. There's such thing called strategy. You're supposed to stop someone from doing something at an advantageous time. No, they'll see me come online with a new device and, oh, he's got something. Boom. Let's hit him with something. Okay, great. Game started. Okay, what'd you do? Okay, I got a workaround for that. Or I'm going to learn one. Boom. So it's been a big buildup, and I'm glad that they're such control freaks because, whenever you know the nature of something, you can control that thing.
It just.
So with them being in control, quote unquote, I can basically lead them to do whatever I want them to do because I know they're going to do it.
But that's the whole thing with Facebook. It's like they're in control, but they don't let you feel like they're in control most of the time, unless they unless they cut you off or put you in Facebook jail, or so most of the time you just feel like you're doing what you're doing. So and life goes on, and everybody's happy, kinda. You know what I mean? It's all subliminal or in the background where that's why everybody's rolling in the directions they're rolling. They're influenced. They're going by what they're told and believing what they're believing. When you got all these different, I'm watching the polls during the election and I'm going, shit, man, he's losing. And all of a sudden your inner spirit is going, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. And then you start hearing these stories, and it's like they start bringing out all this stuff about, scorecard and Hammer and, all these NSA and CIA things, and the government's doing this to make him lose. It's really, really evil. Unfortunately, again, we're way over time and I'm letting it go over time because I'm going to have to cut out the first 15 minutes and make it make sense. But if there's anything you want to leave this show with, as I always say, for the current situation, what would it be, V?
Well, once again, I always end my show with the phrase that I came up with. In the land of surveillance, the man with the third eye is king. So, educate yourselves.
That third eye has become very important over the past, especially more now than ever. And when you think about it, there's been a significance in that, but nobody pays attention to it. But there was a reason why that was all created and put there, and just blows right over most people's heads. All right, look.
Hi, Neil Glenn.
I appreciate you once again defying all odds, getting up in the middle of the night, halfway around the world, to be on my little old show. My goal was to have a smooth streaming. I don't know. This is the first time I've had actually an audio problem like this in a long time. That's what happens when you get too confident and you think everything's going to work right. And I even make sure that everything's working, but it happens.
Every show I get on, I actually hear that about 80% of the time.
Really?
This is the first time I've ever had this kind of
it's not my first.
Kind of
it's just been a while because I'm very aware of like certain things that in the beginning getting a rhythm, making sure this works. But I check but when you have this much going on, and I get this thing with Pepsi because he keeps wanting us to exponentially grow in different technical ways. And he doesn't get it. I said, no friggin' way. Not until there's a crew of people that are going behind, monitoring the monitors behind the monitors, because there's just too much to go wrong. I want you to be heard. There's no sense in you coming onto this show if you're not heard. And unfortunately, like I said, I had people telling me, they go, I can't hear them. And that's how I caught on. They're texting, and then I'm going, here I go again. I thought I just fixed that problem because I checked this stuff. But one way or another, there's plenty of this message here, and I just have to, unfortunately, the intro is what I lost with you, but believe me, I'll make it work as always. You did a great job, and I'm very, very appreciative of you. We really do need to have a meeting to talk about the other stuff. The holidays are coming around. I'm kind of booked all the way up through the year, but I wanted you on after. I kind of saved it in my mind for after the presidency election. I knew I kind of wanted you. I didn't know which way it was going to go. I honestly thought that we were going to be talking about President Trump being the new president. But apparently, not always, but I was wrong. I'm not really wrong. He's not really yet not the president, but it's a bigger mess than I anticipated. Really is.
It is. Okay. And I hope he does the right thing and kicks in gear, exposed to treason.
Because you told me back many months ago, he says that, it's to pick your best of either evil. I mean, Trump has an agenda, Biden has an agenda, but the better of agendas for ourselves. I truly believe that he really does kind of. Oh, sure, he's going to make money one way or another, but I do believe he actually cares about this country. I do, in his own rough way. But you try to explain that to most people, they're going, "You're out of your mind. He's a friggin' asshole."
Well, Trump being the billionaire, multi-billionaire that he is, he wants his currency, he wants his money to be worth something.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed, being here in Poland, I've got to exchange cash.
Yeah.
Okay. So the rate has been good since he was in office.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that's it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure, and V from the Red Pill Hardcore Show, and they can find you during the week, and your shows are live also. Are they live every 4 days out of the week?
Live weekdays. 10 p.m. to midnight Central Time.
Okay, you can look that up you can Google the Red Pill Hardcore Show, and I know it's easy to find because I have found it. That's how I was able to, just check you out back when she was getting a hold of me and check you out. But you can check them out too if you're into what's really important about you surviving this world. V is one to give you a reality check. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, as always, again, because I feel bad getting you up in the middle of the night, but we all know we're doing this for a reason, and that's why we're both here. So big props to you, and we'll hopefully keep fighting the fight. And I hope by the time we talk again that maybe there'll be some better things going on down the line.
Well, we can always try to fight for that possibility.
Well, we are fighting for that. That's the problem. I'm trying to do it in a gentler way, because the people that I want to understand, I don't want to lose because they're friends and things like that. But it's just, everybody has their beliefs, and I respect that. I was just hoping that we opened up their mind, possibly to go, same thing, Pepsi. As I said, I was kind of closed-minded in a lot of things, and Pepsi just has nothing better to do but get into all that stuff. And I got some other people that have been prying at my door, and I finally took a little bit more of a look. And I was still in the right direction, but I never went to really, really go deep. And I did, and that's why we're here, and that's why you're here for the third time on my show. Because when it comes to getting deep behind the scenes, I know I can give you a call and hopefully give people a better perspective without just ramming it down their throat. Trying to say, just listen. Maybe, if we change one, we've done something.
Well, presentation is everything, and I love it if people watch my documentaries. You can watch my documentaries from the first one to the last one and just have the full encyclopedia, pretty much. And you'll know everything I talk about.
On YouTube, one more time, where can they find that on YouTube?
Truthtainment TV Network.
Truthtainment TV Network on YouTube. You can find all of V's documentaries that go way, way, way into things that you probably don't understand, but will once you watch it. So, cool. All right, we got to go because I still got to wrap it up. This has been, I don't know if I'm breaking the record of the longest show I've ever done, but I've done, hour and a half shows, but I think I'm going to hit the 2-hour mark here in another 10 minutes. But well worth it, and that's why I'm doing it. I can do it. So far, nobody can stop me yet from doing what I'm doing, and if that happens, you'll find out. But so far, so good. All right, V, love you. Thank you so much for taking the time. Give your people, and again, and you got 2 co-hosts, correct?
Yes.
And we're going to have to talk about that too, because there's some issues that need to be talked about. And I don't know whether we're doing that all together or just one at a time, but we need to talk about that, and I need information on them. That's for sure.
Well, we'll definitely
get there. We'll get there. After the first year, that's a promise. But in the meantime, we'll still stay in touch to talk about getting to where we're going, because like everything else, I have to plan a little bit ahead, even though I'm not super, gigantor, but I still have somewhat of a, process that goes on. I don't wait till the last minute, unfortunately. Or fortunately. There we go.
And also have Pepsi Give me a ring sometime.
I'm going to give him the number you gave. Well, believe me, I think he's still on. I mean, he may be watching. I'm not sure. But the thing was, he's got his own agenda and things going on that he wanted to talk to you about. But again, he called and didn't hear nothing. But I will give him the number you gave me, and if he wants to give you a call, we'll talk about that too. I'm planning on having him here for the 100th anniversary show, which is again going to be the middle of January, which is not that far off. And again, easier said than done. Can't believe it. And that's only for the live. I've been doing shows prior to that, so we have close to 200 and some odd shows that are out on, floating around the universe. But this is just the live Facebook thing. And to me, it's like maybe that doesn't impress many, but you try to, I tell people, you try and do it and let me know how it works out, Easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
All right. God bless you. And again, if there's anything I need to know, don't hesitate to let me know what the hell I'm doing right or wrong, because I'm listening.
All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity for having me on your show, and I'll stay in touch.
All right, brother. You can go back to bed now.
I have more work to do.
There you go. All
I'll
right.
talk to you soon.
All right. Peace out. See you later.
Thank you.
All right. Wow, long, but well worth it. I swear. I am so pissed. I'm pissed. It sounds like people are talking, huh? That's in the music. I apologize that the beginning of the show got screwed up and you could not hear V. I haven't had that issue in a while. And again, as I tell Pepsi and some of my friends, you really don't realize sometimes once you're live, this is a live show. This isn't a Tonight Show that's done live at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and then they fix everything and make sure it goes out live late at night. When I say live, this is live. And that's why it's so complicated. It looks simple, but it's a lot harder than it looks. I hate it because I needed to set it up so people will understand what's going on and where V comes from and why he does what he does. But one way or another, as always, we will persevere. I want to thank V from the Red Pill Hardcore Show, which can be found every day of the week. Just Google it, Red Pill Hardcore Show. He does a live show. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's not 10 o'clock at night here, though. He's over in Poland doing this show. Just look it up. You can find out. V, from the Red Pill Hardcore. He's the man who uncovers the man from behind the curtain and exposes and talks about reality of what's really going on while we just live our lives semi-blindly. We're all concerned with different things. Anyway, I love you guys. What else can I tell you? I'm your guy. I do the best I can with what I have to work with, and I do it because I care. I care about you guys. I love everybody. But I'm your guy. I'm your guy that will take you into the places you want to go. All you got to do is tell me about it. We share stories. V was just sharing his knowledge. Take it with a grain of salt. You can say it's all bullshit, but at least listen and watch. Speaking of watching, don't forget, these shows are rerun, and they're regurgitating on through Facebooks and YouTubes and LinkedIn and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Share. Spread the word. I could not be here if it wasn't for Bolt Energy. Thank God for Bolt Energy. Bolt Energy, electrify your senses. Ask for Bolt Energy in stores. If you can't find it, go to www.drinkboltenergy and ask those guys where they can find it. They're growing rapidly, and it tastes great, and it's no preservatives. Oh, yeah. Every Sunday night, people. Next Sunday night, top secret. Just want you to be here and share all through the week. You can share these shows anytime. I'm keeping it real to the best of my ability. And I do it for you. I don't do it for me. I do it because I have a child. I know you have children. We all have to learn to get along, but we also need a stable community, a stable environment. That's from divorce and single parenting, surviving all that stuff, everything in between. And now with this whole election crap, this is out of control. It is unbelievable. It doesn't seem possible in this day and age, in this country of all countries. If it was, Slobovia, it's like, they're all screwed up. This is the United States of America. And we're going through what is suggested to be election fraud. And again, listen to the show. Go look up the War Room Pandemic and look up Hammer and Scorecard. And that show was done by, what was her name? They found that show through a site called The American Report. And the reporter was Mary somebody. And I forgot to write her last name. I'm so sorry. But The American Report. Go Google it. Go listen to these people. I mean, don't just say bullshit and walk away, because then you don't know what you're talking about. Most people are afraid about what they don't know. It really helps to understand why we're in this mess. I want you to make the right choices, all right? All right. That's it. See you next Sunday and every Sunday, God willing. I love you guys more than anything. Thanks for tuning in to Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, right here on Facebook, which then gets uploaded, as I said, to YouTubes and LinkedIn's and Instagrams and things like that. But support. Can't do it without you. I wouldn't do it without you, because what would be the sense of doing it? But I thank you for your loyalty and for supporting. All right? Don't take any wooden nickels. Don't take any shit from anybody, but don't be an asshole. Be kind. Be understanding. We do have to all work. They're making Biden's like trying to heal the country now. Get informed. That'll heal it. Don't just buy in. There's a reason what's going on. I can't say this enough, and I don't mean to do this to piss people off, but I'm sorry. I'm finding things. I'm bringing it out to the forefront to you guys. You make the decisions, all right? Love you. Peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad. Divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.